Cool. I'm super happy you're joining me from Dubai right now, right?
Yes,
Pretty cool,
I
pretty
am.
cool. That's gonna be interesting. And what I like, what's gonna be very interesting today is that you are not a trader, but more like a psychologist. And we often say trading is a lot about psychology. A lot of it relates to how we think and how we then act. And we're gonna talk about something a little bit different today, but I'm really excited about that. It's gonna be kind of how to perform best, right?
Yes.
Cool. So tell us first of all what you're doing these days a little bit. Introduce yourself so people can get to know who you are and what you do every day.
Okay. So I'm a psychologist and I help people to have it all. So with have it all, I mean to really have a work-life balance, to have really fulfillment in your work, success and money. But on the other side, also to have a great relationship, romantic love and a family. So these are my core areas. I'm offering my services. And there's one catch which is really good with me because my tools really change things on a DNA level. So I'm not just changing things in the brain, I really go on a cellular level and we change even your DNA in a minute. Yeah, so all the approaches I have, they really immediately change. And today I was thinking to show you something how you can stay brilliant all day long and to have a good performance, especially if you're in trading. There's so many commodities. Here in Dubai, we often have diamonds and gemstones. Yeah.
Right, right.
So that's the topic I would
Cool.
like.
I know a lot of people they are wanting to trade, but what they find really hard sometimes is kind of staying focused, being able to like stay in the game, what it's going to be all day, or just to show up in a positive and like focused state when they want to trade, which is like very tough even for someone who, especially someone who's going to work all day or have a full-time job and then come back home to trade. So I'm super happy about this. Why don't we just dive in and I know you process like 5 parts, so why don't we just start with the first part?
Yeah. So I can really relate to you people because I also still have a full-time job and I'm doing the other things in the evening. Yeah, it is really hard. So you may have realized that in the past, one time you really did a good deal, and then the other time you really missed out on a very important deal. And then you ask, yourself, why is this? Yeah, so why is this so all the time? Why I can't have an equal performance? And performance is really visible on your behavior level. And we're not aware that our behaviors are influenced by different sources. So neuroscience have shown now in really tests what is really behind your behavior. And it's not only important to target your behavior, but also 5 other things. And these 5 other things are first perception, other one are your thoughts, other one are your feelings, emotions, and your physiology. And I will now go slowly through all the 5 and then always give you a solution for it.
Cool. So let's start with perception because I think it's really hard sometimes to perceive things as they really are, and I know people have trouble with that. So, what's important about perception?
Okay, so I used one model because I will come back later to it. Yeah, and it's important to understand also perception. Yeah, so I borrowed this model from Dr. Siegel, and this is your brainstem. That's your middle brain. So when you look at your palm, so your lower arm is your brainstem. Your palm, the palm of your hand, is your, so to say, your brain. And when you just roll in your thumb and then just make a fist, so that's your brain. Now open your fist again. And now I will explain what perception is. Perception, in fact, is the ability to become aware what's really the information which comes through all your senses. And all the information comes through your brain stem. So if it's from inside your body, your heart, your liver, your digestion, or is it through your ears, your eyes, through your nose, That's all the information which is coming in. So before it reaches really your conscious mind, the thumb I showed you, this is like a gatekeeper. Yeah. So all the information goes in, and when the information is somehow in your perception really dangerous, wow, immediately some reaction comes, your heartbeat goes up, your blood pressure goes up, yeah? And you're not even aware of that. This is what we call fight, flight, and freeze. So the information which comes in, there is also in your thumb area in the midbrain, there is something we call the hippocampus. And in the hippocampus, you have all the memories, what you stored the information before. So for example, when you're in trading, all the charts you have seen before, yeah? And the brain is structured that you have like shapes and colors and concepts, but it's never the real reality. This would be an overflow of your mind, yeah? So the brain doesn't work like replicate what is really inside the environment or outside the environment. So it creates concepts. So the perception you come in, or the perception with this, the information which comes in, is already distorted. So the information, the input is compared to already existing concepts you have, and then if much. And this perception is also depending on your expectations. Yeah, so it's never 100% what you're getting. And it also depends how you are. Yeah, are you tired? Then also your attention is not the very best. Yeah, so you don't get all the information. And all this can also lead to misinterpretations. So if you had already seen several charts, or you are now trying to trade another commodity and the chart looks like similar to the money one, you may miss out some crucial information. So to deal with the perception, it's really important that you are becoming aware of that you have these distortions going on, and that you're really trying to stay always curious to see, okay, this chart is maybe a little bit different, but let me focus. Change your routine. Maybe you're doing your trading always after work. Maybe change your routine to wake up earlier and see if you're performing better when you change your routine, because also the brain becomes lazy. It already expects certain things. Just try to retrain it, mess it a little bit up so that your perception is different. Yeah, that's important. And then also important is some people, they can concentrate for 20 minutes. Other people, they can just, or for me, I can concentrate for an hour. Yeah, others maybe 45 minutes. And you really have to find that out. So there are these apps in the market. So if a certain time is over, it beeps, beep, beep, beep. And then you have to interrupt your work. And this is also what I realized. So I'm not trading, but I'm building my business. So sometimes you really want the project to be done, and you stay and stay, and I even go over the peep. And then I realized I become more and more tired. And then in the same time, like an hour before, I could really perform. And now nothing is happening anymore. Even out of sudden, the system becomes very slow. I can't do my things anymore. And that's a sign that you really overworked. So breaks are very important, and to find out what is your best time to focus on something.
I like that. I think I can totally relate to that one, the break one. And I try myself to take breaks sometimes, but like yourself, I kind of skip them sometimes, and that's really a bad idea. Always like end up bad. So yeah, I'm super happy about this one.
Also the same, and I feel it even in my calves. Yeah, I feel that they become really heavy and they're becoming painful, and I really feel the resistance that I even actually want to run away from the place. But I have taught my conscious mind, no, 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 I have to finish it. But in the end, I'm not really performing well.
That's
It's like
interesting.
a night.
Cool. And the
Okay.
the other thing I found also for the part of basically changing your perception and your routine is that whenever you take a break on the weekend, so like not looking at charts and trading on the weekend for like 1 or 2 days, it really helps to come back and like have a fresh perspective. I think that's something people have to apply. If you're like always into something, always doing the same thing, then of course like you have the same perception all the time, which is not what we want, of course.
Yeah, or also change your workplace a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
change
That's yeah,
your
very powerful
computer
too.
or desk. Yeah, so that something is always new in it. Yeah, so
Mhm.
because the brain is not there to create like a replication of the world, the brain is there to learn. Yeah, and if you challenge the brain through somehow changing the environment a little bit, it really also will help you in your perception.
Love that. It's really powerful.
So yeah, I also found, and I can speak from my own experience, and that I'm also not always listening what I am
Uh-huh.
supposed to do. Okay, let's come to the thought. Yeah, the thought that's this was the second part, which really influences your performance. And thoughts are an idea or an opinion produced about with your thinking. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the thought can be about yourself, about others, about trading, and about the world. And it can occur like from the information you get from the environment, or it can just come up on its own through a feeling you have.
Mhm.
So, and the quality of your thought is really important, and the quality depends on your physiology and your emotional state. And the better your emotional state, the better your thought.
Mhm.
And if you have like chaos in your brain because you get in some incongruent information, then, or in a stressful situation, you can't even think clearly anymore. So this is where the brain, the midbrain section comes in again, what I told you with the thumb inside on your palm. This is where the other area lies, the amygdala. So it tells you, okay, I'm seeing stress here, and then it applies already your autonomic nervous system. So in this autonomic nervous system, you're not even aware anymore. You can't think consciously. Because when you do the fist again, the area which covers the thumb, that's your frontal brain, yeah, the frontal part where your brain is, where you can think about the future, you can plan and everything. But when the amygdala is firing, there is no conscious thought anymore. There is no planning, nothing going on. Yeah. So it's very important that you have a really clear state of mind. And another important information is that 95% of your thoughts are even subconscious. So you're not even aware of them. So this is, for example, if some people trade and sometimes they win something, but then they lose the same amount again.
Mhm.
So in the end, they never have like a profit. And behind such behavior is maybe experience, of course, but there's also like a limiting belief that you have a limit how much you're allowed or how much money is available for you,
Mhm.
or only a certain amount of money is available for you. And these are thoughts which are really in your subconscious mind. And you have somehow fed them through your childhood, whatever you experienced there. And then your brain reacts exactly what you told the brain to do. So the brain is something, okay, you tell me I'm supposed only to earn a certain amount of money, so I will make it happen because you told me so. You
Right.
told me wealth is not available, I will do that. You told me you are tired, okay, I will show you that you're tired. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's also the words you have once learned and words you're still choosing. Yeah. So it's very important that you choose also the right words. So, for example, you're very drained after work and you don't really want to trade, but you must. And then you say, I really hate it, but I want to do it and I feel so tired. don't even expect something great happening out of this. Words is like you say, okay, it's late, but I choose to trade now because it's important for me. I want to create something for me and my family, for example.
Right.
I choose to sit at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the evening and trade because I choose it.
That's
Yeah?
very powerful
And
also. Yeah.
oh, I hate to do it now. Yeah. Oh, I'm not in this. So very important to choose the right words. Yeah. And another way to influence your thought is like there is a technique called Psyche. So you can immediately change your beliefs. For example, you say, today I will be very concentrated, or I am a good trader. And then you muscle test yourself. And then, in fact, somehow there's incongruency in your brain. You're not really believing what you're saying, that you're a good trader. So the whole body somehow goes backward. You don't trust that. Yeah. And then within a minute, you can create that this belief that you are a good trader becomes very strong.
Right,
yeah?
right.
That technique I also apply for myself. Do you have any questions so
No,
far
I,
on
I
that?
think it's really interesting, and I've seen people personally who like reach a level and then they lose everything back because of the like limiting belief or the thought they have about themselves. And I've also seen the same thing with the thought of like feeling tired, and then you say you're tired, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, and you don't want to do this. Like that's very powerful also. So yeah, super
Yeah.
happy about this.
So that's
But
really the right words. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And in your opinion, what would be the best way to change a thought whenever it happens? Because we cannot like stop the thought or control them. We can just like maybe change them. How do we
Yeah.
go about it?
So because the brain tries to avoid pain and goes towards pleasure. So you can also give yourself an incentive. You say, okay, when I go now for trading, I will do that for 2 hours, and later I will read a very nice book or something, an incentive which really inspires you. And then you do first your trading, you say, I choose it now, and then later I will get a gratification for that.
So it's like choosing to
Yeah.
respect your plan to trade the right way, and then after that you get to have your kind of reward or something.
So you reward yourself. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you're already very tired, but you say, okay, I choose it now. And then later I will tell you about the physiology that you can really stay in this, in the right state of mind. So you do your thing, and then you go towards pleasure. Give yourself a pleasure afterwards, whatever it is for you. It's very individual. Yeah. For me, for example, it's a hot bath. Yeah. For someone is, I don't know, a cold shower or a nice meal, whatever it is. So go towards pleasure and reward yourself afterwards, after you have done it. Or what you said, weekend, yeah, do something really nice in the weekend. That's your pleasure. Yeah. And then you can tell yourself, I really worked hard, I really did my best, and now it's my pleasure time.
Cool. And I've done that myself in the past. It's funny, but I did something similar where if I would respect my rules of trading for all the week, I would have something nice on the weekend, like something different, or go for like an adventure or whatever. And that really works. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So that's really as something. Avoid pain and go towards pleasure. Choose your words. And the very deep beliefs I was talking about, that you set yourself really a limit, this needs some deeper work.
I like
So
that.
this is something, yeah, I do hypnotherapy, so we can sort out why you set this limit to yourself.
Cool.
Okay.
So are we now at the third part, or?
Yes.
Cool.
And the third part are your feelings. So feeling is a conscious awareness what's really going on in your body. And this feeling, like anger, when you're angry about something, then, for example, your heartbeat goes up, your blood pressure goes up, the tension in your external muscles really tenses up, like in your fist or in your arms or in your legs. And there's not much going on in the middle section. Yeah. And in this kind of state, a lot of people are not even aware what's going on in their body. They're thinking, okay, still everything is okay. I'm trading, I'm doing this, but your body is already telling you something else. In my case, what I told before, like I know exactly my calves are becoming really painful and heavy. And I feel somehow in my chest area that I really want to pull back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really feel that. Yeah. And this is something a lot of people are not aware. They still think they are thinking and everything is okay and they feel okay. But in the inside, they're not realizing that the body is already in resistance. And your feelings can also influence now your thoughts. Yeah, what I said before, the quality of your thoughts are also impacted by the feelings you have in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to get also a grip on your feeling. And this is now really dropping into your body and really sense what is going on there. Do I feel tension somewhere? Do I feel sweat on my fingers? We are not going to these complicated things of emotions. Yeah, not I feel happy, I feel glad, I feel what. No, we're just going for sensations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or for example, okay, my neck is becoming stiff. I really feel somehow some tension in my head. Yeah. So just drop and figure out what's going on in your feelings. Yeah. And you can easily do that. You say, okay, I feel a tension here. Oh, I feel cold here. Oh, I feel a tendency going back. And with naming, you create already awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And awareness, you are in control. Before, as I told you before, with the model of the brain, these functions of that something becomes stiff or cold is done by the autonomic nervous system. It doesn't even involve your consciousness. It's just done, yeah? So if you get aware of it, you're in control and then you can influence it. That's the important part of healing.
Wow.
And a lot of people are now, that's all this kind of mindfulness work that's behind that. Just get
Mm-hmm.
aware what's going on in your body.
And then
Yeah.
what should we do with feeling? Do we have something to work on, or because it's good to identify what we feel, but then what's the next step? Like, what should we
Yeah.
do if we feel like stress or something else?
So first of all, drop into your body and really sense what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Name it. Yeah.
Okay.
Name it. And then when you're aware of it, you can decide, okay, I feel actually tired. And then you can make the decision to go earlier to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Or you sense, oh my God, my stomach is cramping. So, and then you have to interpret what this means for you. Are you sick or are you just hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Or you feel like sweat. It can be, I'm getting nervous because now there's something going on here on the chart. Something is changing here. Yeah. Or is it just that the AC in your room is not on? Yeah. So you really have to figure out first the feeling, name it, and then you give an interpretation to it.
Right, right. I like
Yeah.
that.
And another way, if you feel really tense, that's very easy to do is you sense, for example, this, like in my case, I often say the calves. Yeah. So I feel the tension in my calves. And then I just tap with my feet, yeah,
Uh-huh.
bilateral, yeah. Just tapping as you're skipping, yeah. Just right, left, right, left, right, left, yeah. And then you already see something is shifting, yeah. You're shifting the energy. Or you just tap with your hands on your thighs, yeah, just bilateral like 48 times, yeah, and then you see something is shifting, and then you dive in again. You say, okay, do I still feel it? And then you continue with this bilateral tapping or with your hands. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
very easy,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
want.
Cool.
So that's the grip of your feelings.
Uh-huh.
Then the other side, what we said were the emotions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what are emotions? Yeah, emotions are in fact all this information which is coming up from the brainstem, and it's like electronic, like signals. Yeah? It's the physiology, it's all electronic signals, and all signals together, they create a certain emotion. It's energy in motion.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
feel it can be tricky for
And
people though to understand the difference between a feeling and an emotion, because we can feel a certain way, but to me the emotion's sometimes similar, or is it really different?
yeah, so some people, they make a differentiation, they differentiate,
Uh huh.
because on the feeling level, I was just saying, I feel cold, I feel stiff. And on the emotional level, that's already a higher concept. It's like, now when I feel stiff here and I feel cold, then I must be angry.
Oh, okay.
Angry, fearful, anxious, happy, glad. These are already higher concepts of emotions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where you have different physiological sensations, and they create as a whole now an emotion. Yeah, many feeling sensations, and this can be very different from one person to the other. So sometimes you say the concept of anger and happiness, it's quite similar to people, but
Mm-hmm.
now I heard another research is even different. So it's an interpretation in the end, how you would name what you're feeling. Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
different sensations together. Okay, how you can get grip of something which is in motion. Yeah. And first of all, it's also again very important that you even have a vocabulary for what is going on. Often people only know anger, stress, fear, and maybe happiness. But there are so many different emotions. Yeah, and often even as I'm working in a school, even the children don't know how to name emotions and how they're actually feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like relearning it. And there's Dr. Alan Watkins, and he has created an application. It's called the Universe of Emotions. You can download it from the Apple Store or Google, yeah. And it gives you like, you record where are you on the spectrum, because you have positive emotions and you have negative emotions. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
the negative ones, let's say they're on the right side, and the positive ones are on the left side. And then you also have another like axe, which is now horizontal to the other one, which is now, are you like in an excitement? Are you in adrenaline, or are you relaxed?
Okay.
So, and according to this diagram, you have now different emotions. So on the left side, you have something like fear, anxiety, and this has like higher adrenaline. And on the relaxed state, but still negative, is something like boredom,
Okay.
I really, or tired, I really don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the right side, on the more positive side, when you're really activated, it's passion, determination. This is we need after work for trading, yeah?
Right.
Or just when it's a little bit more relaxed, is something like curiosity, creativity, yeah? And then you find out what, how this whole thing which you're feeling right now, how would you name it?
Mm-hmm.
And this application helps you to get a better vocabulary or more words for your emotions. And then you become much more in control, because if you can name it, it's already outside your body. It's not something which is happening you and it's controlling you, which it actually is, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
autonomic nervous system. So when you name it and you really find a good label for it, then it's outside you and you can control it again. Yeah.
Nice.
And then you can shift yourself better to the more positive side by choosing the right words. I'm very thrilled to do this trading now. I'm really so excited. I have a passion for it, even if it's not true at the moment. as I told you before, the brain does what you tell the brain to do. So if you say, I'm so excited, I'm so thrilled, I just want to do it, and you even sing it, I'm thrilled, I want to do it. Yay, like the Marines, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So when they run through the rain or they have to climb up the mud, they're singing. So the
Wow.
song tells them, oh, it's despite all that, it's cool, yeah? So it's something like, and this, with this, you create the passion and you get more to the flow zone. If you heard this state of flow, when things are really working much faster because you're more aligned to it, this is what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Get the up, get literate in your emotion, and then really choose the right words. I'm thrilled, I'm passionate, and create a song
That's pretty
with that.
fascinating. That just changing the word you say can influence how you act, and how you kind of perform. That's pretty cool. It's a nice thing for sure.
Yeah. So then we have only one level left, and which is the physiology. So the physiology, this I also borrowed from Ellen Watkins,
Hmm.
and that's also something everybody seems to do now in Google or in all these big companies. It's breathing. Yeah. So, or everybody breathes now. Yeah. And even if it's only for 5 minutes. So when you have your focus time for 20 minutes, or for you it's 45 minutes, and you take the break, just take a break of breathing. And that's very, very simple. So breath means B for breath, R like rhythmically, like in a certain rhythm. So you breathe in, for example, on a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has to be rhythmic.
Hmm.
And the other one is, now we have the BR. E is like with ease. So it has to be really even and smoothly, not like, like, yeah. So it
Yeah.
has to be a continuous flow. It has to be really even. Yeah. And then the third aspect is that you concentrate through your heart. Because if you're aware of your heart, that's one of the things you can actually feel and become aware really easily. You can really feel the bumping of your heart, even if you're in a relaxed state, or your pulse. These are the only organs you can really get an awareness. You can't get an awareness of your stomach. Okay, sometimes when it's roaming, you have
Hmm.
eaten something heavy, then you can feel it, but you can rarely influence it. But your pulse and your heart, you can really influence. And therefore, the breath is very important. So breathe rhythmically and evenly through your heart. Yeah, or you can even give your auto suggestions, which is, my heart beats regularly. My heart beats very regularly. My heart beats very regularly. So
Hmm.
with this, you already change your physical state you are in. And as we said, if you have a good physical environment, the quality of your thoughts is even better. The emotional side, from the negative emotions, they shift already to the neutral zone. So this breath work, or telling yourself, I'm relaxed, my heartbeat is very regular, my heartbeat is very regular. It really helps you to get again into control. And it's not hard, it's very
Hmm.
easy.
Hmm. And I feel this is gonna help on the other parts also, like the perception, because whenever you take a break to breathe, you come back with a fresh perspective, I guess.
Yeah, and you concentrate, you shift your brain now outside this conscious thinking. You just concentrate on your breath.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. And then later you can concentrate on yourself. So you concentrate on yourself for a moment. The self is your breath. And then after this, you can concentrate again on your work, and you can really flow into your work and really indulge in your work. And then after a while, when you really feel it's becoming tiring again, you can't focus for so long, then you focus back on yourself. Yeah, we can't do both things at the same time. So breathing is perception on yourself. It prepares you to now perceive your work in a different way, and then you can go into this flow. Physiology is also very important. Sleep. Yeah. If you sleep less than 6 hours,
Yeah.
unfortunately, if you sleep the next day in the afternoon, you can't recover from it. Because at the nighttime, your brain is programmed when it's becoming dark, yeah? And you have like a clock, an inner clock, which exactly knows when there is night and day. Therefore, you get confused when you go to other time zones, yeah? So your body already knows that. And during your sleep, you really restore the whole program of your brain again. Yeah, it's like when your computer is hanging. So the first thing you restart, or you got a new program, you downloaded a new program. First thing is you have to restart. And your sleep is like restarting. It's very, very important. So try to figure out that at least you get 6 hours of sleep. Yeah. Nutrition is very important.
Yeah.
Don't eat sweets or fast food. If you want to order, like for me, I also get very busy. I'm often sometimes too tired to cook, but then I order food which is really healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
at
Yeah.
least if I can't cook on my own, but I order in really nutritious food, and this doesn't need to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that
So
becomes a habit. Once you start doing that, it becomes like the same thing you do all the time, which is very good. And it
yeah,
makes a big difference too. I've seen it personally, so yeah.
yeah, and nutritions. Yeah, so you have so many supplements in the
Mm-hmm.
market, and just to keep your body also nourished, because that's something, and in your stomach, so that you have a good digestion. Because if something is plugged in your intestines, you can't even take up all the nutrients in your food. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and this creates again fatigue and everything. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's quite holistic. Yeah, what we discussed, the 5 levels.
Yeah. And
And,
that's very,
uh,
very powerful, very scary. I think they make a big difference for people who train, and pretty much for anyone else. I think it applies to everyone. Like, so that's really
yeah,
powerful. What do you think are
yeah.
the obstacle people face when they try to implement those 5 parts? Are there some common things?
Yeah, so for example, as I said, I really try to give you tools which are easy to apply.
Mm-hmm.
The breathe is very easy to get hold of your physiology. Learn to really drop into your body and at least learn what kind of sensations are in your body. And then remember this bilateral tapping with your feet on the floor, yeah, or with your hands on your thigh. That's very, very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Take also the breaks. And I'm not giving you complicated things, because even me, I need something which works fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I can't do a half an hour meditation or something, but breathing for 5 minutes to bring my focus to myself, to be then focusing to the outside again, to my work, or in your case, the trading. So these are quite easy things. And I really thought before I came on the show,
Yeah.
what I really task everybody can do easily.
Uh-huh. And I think the amazing thing is when people start and they see the result of this, it can make a big difference totally. And I've seen it myself because those are some things that I apply myself, but some of them I didn't apply. But I'm yeah excited to try it out and see how it improves. For sure, it's
Yeah.
gonna be powerful.
Yeah. And then there are also some, what I said before, some really deep thoughts.
Uh huh.
So I also realized, why is my business not going into the right direction? What is going on with me? And I did then also this work on myself.
Mhm.
And then I really realized, wow, there are some things I was not aware of that. Yeah, why this is hindering me now. And I have a very nice free mini course. It's called Be Incredible Successful.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
it's like a small workbook to figure out what are your behaviors, how you can align really your work in trading, or how you can align really your life through certain levels. And then I have it's a kind of guided meditation. It's for 20 minutes, and it shows you and implements in you habits of very successful people. So you are guided in a really relaxed state, and in this relaxed state, you hear really positive. It's not affirmations. It's more giving instructions to your
Mm-hmm.
brain how to perform and be successful on a continuous level.
Cool. So how can people find that if they want to grab the course or reach out to you or connect with you?
Yeah, so they can go on my website, which is called Silk, like the Asian fabric.
Okay.
Silk Celia Charlie, then E like Echo, L like Lima, I like India, and A like Africa.com/success. And then you get access to this free mini course. I think this, especially for your people, can be really important because it's these habits of to really do the things you dislike most, do them first.
Mm-hmm.
That's also very crucial. Have daily actions towards your goals, and then also delay your gratification.
Yeah, very important.
It's the right words. Yeah, choose really powerful words which are driving you forward.
Cool. I like that. And we'll make sure to put all the links in the show notes. There's gonna be a link so people can click and go right away on your website for that. And Silke, I have a habit of asking my guests what kind of goal they have for the future. So what are your goals for the future?
So my goals for the future is that I become really an established expert in this mindset and hypnotherapy, because it's also based on neuroscience, what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. And yeah, that's actually my goal, that I become an established expert.
Very interesting. And what's your main motivation for doing that?
Yeah, this is what I taught you, this workbook, which is called an alignment exercise to put you on the roadmap to your success. And I did it myself, and I figured out that my highest mission is really to bring people from the darkness into the light. Yeah.
Cool.
And this is what really drives me. That's really, and out of this mission, I created my vision, my identity, and I'm a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm a therapist. And with this awareness, and that I feel crystal clear about it, it really pushed again my business. I did this exercise many years ago, and then recently I repeated it, and then it became really clear for who I am
Mm-hmm.
and what's the why behind it.
Oh, it's powerful. And Silk, I have a question also asked my guests at the end of every podcast. So if you could give only one piece of advice for traders or I guess people in general, what would that one sentence of advice be?
Breathe, breathe, because it's acronym, yeah? Breathe rhythmically, even, and through your heart in the 5 minutes of your break.
Wow, powerful, powerful. I love that.
Thanks for listening to the Desire to Trade podcast. To get all the information on this show, free articles, and unique resources, make sure to check out www.desiretоtrade.com and subscribe. Please leave us a review and let us know what you thought about the show. It's time to become the best trader you can be. See you next time.